Welcome, this is your guide to DIY gel extensions at home. Let's talk about the types of gel extensions that there are. So these are natural extensions. They have a low apex. There's very minimal gapping between my natural nail and that nail compared to a sculpted extension. You can see the apex is much higher. So I have natural, more on the flat side nail beds, so I'm going to choose the natural extensions. Choosing the correct size is also very important. You want to make sure that the extension fits sidewall to sidewall and it doesn't have a small gap like here. So I'm going to size up, and as you can see, it fits perfectly to my nail bed. And I'm not putting any pressure onto the tip. I'm just sliding it over my nail and making sure that they fit sidewall to sidewall. Everyone's nail beds are different, so a step that I recommend doing is taking a nail file and just filing around the cuticle area of the nail tip to make sure that it fits perfectly to your nail bed. Not only will this look neater and cleaner, it'll also help prevent lifting since we're getting rid of any gaps that would be between your nail bed and the fake nail. This is how you want that extension to fit. There is no natural nail showing anywhere. Another step to include is by taking a buffing block or nail file and just going around the nail tip, around the cuticle area. This will just thin out that area so it fits much more natural and seamless onto your nail bed. Such a small step, but it definitely goes a long way. We're going to repeat that on all of the nails. It should look something like this. Then the next step is taking an e-file. I'm going to be using this one here by Melody Susie. It's my go-to. I'm going to be attaching one of the drill bits that it came with to etch the underside of my extensions. The key here is to etch as much as your nail bed will take up on the extension. So as you can see, I'm just trying to go up as far as I can so it'll fully cover all of my nail. This is a step that you should not skip. It's very important that the gel has something to adhere to, and that's the rough surface that we're making. Your prep tip should look something like this. Now the next thing that we're going to do is prepping our natural nails. I recommend using a cuticle softener / cuticle remover like this one by Sally Hansen. What it'll do is it'll just soften up any dead skin / cuticle that you have overgrown on your nail plate, because if we leave that on there, it will cause lifting. The next thing we're going to do is take this cuticle pusher and just start pushing back your cuticles, and naturally all that gunk will just come up with it, and you can just see me wiping it off here. If you haven't done this before, you might need to do it 2 times to make sure that there is nothing on your nails. And you can see here, like, all that white stuff coming up is just dead skin, and you just want that all gone. It is a tedious process, but you want to make sure to really take your time with it so there isn't anything left on your nail bed. Now this next step is optional, but I am just clipping away at any dead skin around my nail. You definitely do not have to do this if you're not comfortable at all, but I'm not cutting at any live tissue. It's a personal preference, and you definitely do not have to do this. If you do choose to do this, this part should not hurt at all because, again, you're not cutting at any live skin. Now that our nails look all pretty, we're going to start by buffing our nails. So you just want to lightly buff your natural nails. You're just simply removing the shine. Now what this is going to do is it's going to create a rough surface on your nail because gel would not adhere to a smooth surface. So a lot of people would over buff in this step, and you definitely do not. Like, I'm going in very lightly. Don't buff in one place for too long. As you can see here, I'm moving my nail file very frequently. Once I know it's buffed, I move on to the next area. So I like to also focus on the sides of my nails because that is also where lifting is more prone to happen. Your buff nails should look something like this. The next step is going to be taking this alcohol prep pad, and it's going to remove any dust, and it's also going to dehydrate it at the same time. Take your time with cleansing all the dust off your nails because you do not want any dust particle sitting on your nail because that's also going to cause lifting. So I like to just go around a couple times my nail, get in the crevices to make sure there is no dust in sight before I go on to the next step. Buffing is complete and they're all clean now, so we're going to go in with dehydrator and a primer. These two are very important, especially the primer. Now, the first thing is the dehydrator. That one goes first. It's just dehydrating your nail. It's removing any oils that you may have remaining on your nail plate. Typically do just 3 swipes on my natural nail, but if you have whiter nail beds, you may need to do more. But basically, you're just coating your nail plate with 1 layer of this dehydrator. This also dries pretty instantly, so by the time I'm done with my pinky, I go on to the next step, which will be the primer. This is my favorite primer, and it's the best one that I have tried in my opinion. What you're gonna do is you're gonna apply it the same way that you did the dehydrator, and you're just applying one coat to your nails. Now this one I do let dry for about 30 seconds. The primer will create a tiny layer on the surface of your nail, which will help the gel adhere better to your natural nail. So we're just gonna finish applying that, and I'm also very careful on applying it. As you can see, I'm taking my time, I'm making sure no spots are missed, and I also don't like to have this on my skin. All these products are meant for your nails only, so any exposure on your skin can lead to sensitivity, reactions, and you can even become allergic to certain ingredients in gel. So I am very careful about just applying these products to my nail only. Let the primer air dry for about 20 seconds and it should be good, because the next thing we're going to do is gel application. Now you're going to do two things here. The first thing it's going to be is you're going to apply the gel to your natural nail first. This will also help grab onto the extension once you apply it with gel as well. So we're just doing a very thin layer of that onto our nails. Also remember not to get any of this onto your skin, because it can cause contact dermatitis and allergic reactions, and we do not want any of that here. And if it happens to get on your skin, just go ahead and take a flat brush and some acetone to clean up. You can see me doing this here to make sure I don't have anything on my skin. These two brushes are my favorite for that. I'm using this flat one to clean up around my nail. This is just to kind of ensure that I don't have any leakage. I just go around my nail just to make sure everything is nice and crisp and clean and nothing is on my skin. I just want to show you guys how slow I'm applying this. Like, this is real time. I didn't speed this clip up, so I am going very slow. I'm being very tedious with the application here because I'm also doing this on my dominant hand. So when you're doing your nails at home, do not feel rushed to do them, because I rather have you guys take time than rush it and like get an allergic reaction from it due to improper application. Go ahead and repeat on all other nails. Once you're done, you're going to cure that for 30 seconds. Now this lamp is not the one that you want to use. You want to use a 48 watt lamp that has a reflective bottom, and I will link that one down below. The next thing is going to be the actual application of the extensions. I'm going to show you guys the right way to do it first, and I'm going to go into the common mistakes and how to fix them. So what you're going to do is just paint a thin layer onto the nail that will cover your natural nail. So basically where you etched it, you're just going to paint a thin layer. Then I'm going to scoop some at the bottom at the cuticle here, and then I'm going to push up the product, because if you leave it down at the cuticle, I find that that's what bloods the cuticle. So by moving it up, you prevent that. Use a flash cure lamp and turn it on before you apply the nail. You're going to hold the nail at a 45-degree angle like this with gel in it, and this is going to be the top view from that, and you're going to see the gel just spread. You're going to maintain the pressure once it's parallel to your nail, and the gel will flow on its own. Then you're going to go ahead and cure that for about 5 to 10 seconds under the flash cure lamp. And if you get any gel that seeps around your nail, just go ahead and take a flat brush and clean it up while the gel is still gooey. Make sure to take your time with this. Again, this is how slow it is actually in real life, and I'm going to cure that for 5 to 10 seconds again. Now, the first thing that I'm going to go into with common mistakes is going to be when you don't apply enough gel, and that looks something like this. So you can see this gel just stopped at the middle of my nail, and if I keep pressing down, it's going to start to lift at the cuticle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the nail off of my nail bed, then just clean up any excess gel that may have got onto your skin, and I'm just doing that with an alcohol prep pad. Then you're going to take your brush and your nail tip, and you're just going to apply a little bit more of the extend gel onto there. So you see me just pulling some at the bottom and just kind of spreading it around so it's not so focused on the cuticle. And we're going to try again to applying it onto our nail, and we can see that the extend gel actually reaches the tip of the nail now. Now I'm going to flash cure that for 5 seconds. The next thing that I'm going to show you is what it looks like when there's too much gel. So immediately you can see like there's overflowage at the cuticle and even at the free edge there of the nail. So slide that nail off, and then just make sure to really clean around your skin, because you don't want any of that gel that was sitting on there to stay. So I'm even taking a brush here and cleaning around just to make sure there's no excess gel left. Now what we're going to do is we're going to scrape some of that gel off because it's too much. Now we're going to try again with a little bit less gel than we did. This part really just takes practice because you just have to know how much gel to add or how little gel to add. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right the first time. Practice does help a lot with this. But hopefully these tips help you out when you're doing your own at home. After you flash cured all your nails, you're going to go ahead and fully cure them under a full LED lamp for 60 seconds. Now that you have your gel extensions all secure, we're going to start prepping the tips for polish. What I like to do first is just take a nail file and file the free edge because there's typically a little tab there. So I'm just rounding that out. The next step is sealing the cuticle. I typically do that with one of these two bits. They both have that cone shaped to them, so I think that's what I like about them for sealing the cuticle with. I'm gonna go for the steel one today, and I'm gonna just start my nail file on low. Basically, I think I have 6 RPMs right now, and I'm just going in one direction around my cuticle, and I'm just laying that parallel to my nail bed. So I'm not digging into my cuticle. As you can see, I kind of have it flat on my nail, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to dig into your nail because that can also cause like friction, and then it can burn you. And you also don't want to stay in one spot. You want to move that drill frequently and in small motions. This is also a good step if you had any leakage when you were applying the nail tips, because you can just file off any of that excess gel that may have cured onto your skin or around the nail tip. Just repeat that to all of your nails, and after you're done sealing the cuticle, it's time to prep the tips. I like to use a hand buffer instead of an e-file just because it's my personal preference. What this will do is it'll create kind of a rough surface on the nail tip, so when you're applying the polish, it has something to grab onto and it doesn't chip in the future. Repeat that to all of your nails, and once you're done, you want to get rid of all the dust. So I'm going to take an alcohol prep pad and just wipe all of the nails down. I like to focus like around the skin because I don't want any dust lingering there when I apply my gel polish. And I forgot to mention, whenever you buff your nail tips like this, there is no need to apply a base coat to them because you already prepped them by buffing them. And the less layers of polish that you have, the thinner they look and the more natural they look. So that's always a plus. Next thing is polish application. I'm using this very pretty pink. I love this one. It's by Beetles. It's shade B158. I'm just gonna start by doing a thin coat first. Since I'm doing my dominant hand, I'm just basically gliding my hand and not really doing much work with my non-dominant hand. The key to not getting it streaky is to have a minimal pressure on the nail brush. If any gel polish floods your cuticle, just take a flat brush dipped into acetone and just clean it off, because we never want to leave any gel sitting on our skin. Make sure to cure every coat for 60 seconds and just follow the same steps for this second coat of polish. And I like to finish off with a non-wipe top coat because once you cure it, this doesn't leave a sticky residue on your nail. And cure for 60 seconds. And you are all done. If you aren't doing your nails already, this is your sign to start because it's that easy. And now you can go live your best life with your DIY nails. If this video was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment them down below and follow me on TikTok and Instagram.